Hosts are Jared and Jason, and you have arrived at the after party. The crown winner of last week is shared by No White Gill Clips and K-Burr, both financially gifting 25 US dollars. God bless you both, and congratulations. In second place, we have White Student Transmission, financially gifting $20. Thank you so much, brother. And a big congratulations to you as well. You may financially gift on Entropy, which will be up in a moment. You can find the link to that in the description below. You can also ask and vote on questions there, as well as watch the stream. You can also financially gift on Cash App. The description or the link to that is in the description below as well. Today, we have a glorious host of scintillating guests on tap to discuss their Christmas and Yule celebrations. Please grab the URL for this wonderful tap episode and share it in your circles of influence. While there's time, we'll be here just an hour and over a bit, and then we'll be tapping out. And with that, I will ask the one and only Mr. Jared George to begin with telling us all about his Christmas and Yule celebrations.
Oh, hello. How is everyone? I think that on YouTube, at least, the title is still held over from the last Going Free on Sunday.
Let me check.
But you are indeed watching the after party, and it's a bit of a party today, but there's some multiple guests. You know what we do. It's kind of a Yule, Christmas, New Year's, end of the year celebration. So we're just speaking. I think we both just drank, unwittingly just drank at the same time. I don't know if that means anything.
Hold on one second, Jared, because it appears that we are on D Live. Let's see if we are on YouTube. Can anybody see us on YouTube? Wouldn't this be something?
It looks like we have just a few people. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, then just hold on one second. We might be giving everybody on D Live a preview. And so they get to see, the folks who are on D Live and some of the other platforms are getting to see a preview of what we are going to redo here as we try to re-engage YouTube.
Their YouTube people are saying that they see it.
They see that we're live?
Yeah, I do too. It has the red little live thing, and my subscription's on the side. And then, yeah, up top on your homepage, it's here. It's just incorrectly titled with the last Going Free, like I said.
Okay. Well, we will fix that then. Very good. Well, then please continue, sir.
All right. Well, I don't know. I was up in the North Pole, and I helped Santa with a last-minute gift. It almost all went to crap, but hilarity ensued, and we got the presents to the kids. Or maybe I just fell asleep while watching a movie like that. But everything has been very nice, very relaxed, quiet Christmas. No traveling. I don't like to do that if I can. It's good to see family, but other extended family. But driving hours and hours on a holiday is not the best way to spend it. So we can always arrange to see other people after Christmas and whatnot. So I usually stay local at this point, and it's very nice, very quiet. I'm just looking forward to hearing about everyone's different celebrations and the time of year and anything anyone wants to say. These, Jason, these episodes tend to have a way of hitting different notes, sometimes very lighthearted, and I'm sure, well, we'll see. Now that I'm saying it, probably won't happen. But I was about to say, somebody's probably going to give some kind of wrap up of 2021 and prediction for 2022. And it might not be all peaches and cream and rainbows and unicorns. But who knows? Maybe it'll be lighthearted. Most of the people who are coming on tonight, I think, aren't really news people. So maybe we won't have that kind of prediction. I don't have any. Don't ask me. about predictions for 2022. I don't really do predictions. I just I control my controllables, and things are good from what I'm doing. And as we say here all the time, we only can focus on the things we have agency over, or you're going to go crazy. But I think that there are, despite all the challenges, I still say this is a time of transition. It's crazy, but there are renaissances that follow times of transition. And I don't think that the people behind the scenes have everything on lock as much as some people think they do. Something like this has never been tried. It's a mess. It has global reach. So that's all, I've said that before. People might have caught me say that on other episodes and other contexts, but I'll get my serious part out of the way. So that's out of the way now. That's all I really want to say about assessing the year. We're looking forward to what's next.
Well, that's you, and you had a good break then.
Oh yeah, everything has been very nice. I was listening to a little bit of your Going Free before we went live a little while ago from, what was it? I guess the 19th. So yeah,
right,
you were able to take some time too. So how have things been for you, buddy?
They've been
spectacular. We actually haven't spoken personally, so it's like people are seeing a public, private conversation for a minute.
Yeah, and precisely. It's been wonderful. Always fantastic. This time of year is magnificent. Great to see friends. Great to see family. Wonderful to have the spirit in the air, the spirit of Christmas and Yule, and the upcoming New Year. Happy to be able to put some of the negative or challenging things from last year to bed and look toward a new year, 2022, which is really going to just be splendid in every single imaginable way. So very happy about that. Very happy about all the success we're having. I just got off of a interview with a gentleman by the name of Ernst, and I don't know that I can pronounce his last name, so I can't see. But he's a Swedish gentleman and father, husband, and very impressed by him. The show that we had together will be up shortly and on his YouTube channel, and when it is, I will share it everywhere. But he is very fortunate in that he kind of is accessible in Sweden to both the folks who might be considered like the milquetoast crowd, conservative crowd, as well as people who would be considered hardcore nationalists. And he is a significant supporter of white well-being, very much believes in the practice of going free, and wants to help propel it there in Sweden. He told me off of the interview that he was in a car with a bunch of other grade A gentlemen, and he brought up going free, and packed car apparently, brought up going free, and everybody there in the car, this is in Sweden, they all knew exactly what he was talking about and very excited about the successes, and they want to be a part of that in Sweden. So just imagine all over the world this is happening, and champions from all walks of life coming to resist the tyranny of anti-whiteism and acknowledging that it is the evil of our day. So I was really buoyed and excited by the conversation, 2-hour conversation I had with them. One of the most exciting things about 2022 coming up is the fact that we have with us ForNull, the great champion. There he is. How are you, brother? And how was your Christmas Yule break and celebration?
It was great. Yeah, thank you for having me on. By the way, this isn't my house back here. I'm using the StreamYard green screen thing. I thought I'd try it out.
I thought maybe you got a royalty check from Eye to Eye that I haven't received yet.
Yeah, oops, I spent it already.
It's like, dude, I'm gonna fly out to you for a week and let's record some tracks. Like, let's do a whole EP in your house there. Like, set up some mics.
We'll work it out back here on the baby, or on the full grand piano. So yeah.
That's beautiful. I was wondering, that looks good. I mean, that green screen looks really
the green
good.
screens are getting better. They're getting better.
The color matches pretty good with my lighting right now too. So
Yeah.
That well done.
Yeah,
I was tricked there for a moment. I was like, wow, ForNull's living
just
large.
rolling in style.
He's rolling in cash and he's got a great aesthetic. Look at that place.
Yeah, well, I had to put on the scarf, to really show how
Sell it. Yes.
fancy I am with it. Yes. So, but this is one of my Christmas presents. I was had a great Christmas. You were asking. Yeah, I had a great Christmas. My son and his girlfriend were over here, and we opened presents. We gave them cash, and then my wife and I, we gave each other a bunch of gifts, and they came over, and so she felt kind of bad, like, well, we don't really want to open all these gifts, and they don't have other gifts to open. So she went while I was hanging out with them in the living room, and she went and wrapped like 10 more presents of just stuff she had and some cash and some different things, and brought it all out. Brought it all out so then we could take turns, doing it like
that's that mom instinct. That's that mom instinct.
So that was super cool.
Well, that's a beautiful thing that she did that. Yeah, that's good on her.
Oh yeah, she's the sweetest thing. She's great. So anyways.
How about food-wise? Did you eat too much? Did you eat really good? Did you?
Yeah, we didn't gorge ourselves. We just, regular servings. We had, I think, chicken. What do we have here? She made a note for me in case you guys asked me, and I couldn't.
That's
fried chicken, roasted carrots, stuffing, and she made from scratch a German gingerbread. So she made a bundt cake.
Wow.
A German gingerbread, and I had never had real German gingerbread. I've had gingerbread cookies, but yeah, so it was really good actually. It was quite tasty.
Did you say it was did I hear you say a bundt cake too, or was that it was?
Well, it was in a bundt cake form, like a.
There must be something going around, or maybe they're just all tuning into the biospirit, because on that, not for Christmas but for Thanksgiving, my mom made a ginger bundt cake, probably very similar.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. And the first time she ever did it, she's like, I want to try this. I saw this recipe. Maybe they found it on the same place.
Yeah.
I think it was from. If anyone watches, I don't, but I know from her when she mentions it on those Food Networks. I know she really likes The Pioneer Woman. Maybe some people in the audience know that show. This woman lives on a farm.
Oh, cool.
And just does kind of old timey recipes like that, or her twists on them. So it might have been from that. You should ask your wife if maybe she watches that.
We don't even really watch TV at all.
That's you're better off.
Yeah, she'll just find content creators on YouTube, for cooking and nothing poisonous. We're both pretty sensitive to that kind of stuff, and we can't even find things on regular TV really to watch.
You see, ForNull here, guys, he's so good with the tech that even though behind him is a green screen, you're actually going to see his wife walk across the room in the background.
That'd be cool.
That's how good he
is. Play the piano.
He's like, are you sure that's a green screen? He's just kind of being fake humble. I don't know. It's still, I know if the screen's small enough, you could fool us.
Let's see.
No, don't ruin the illusion.
Oh, look, he tore fabric. It tore a hole in the fabric of time.
Yeah.
It's a Tesseract. It's a Tesseract.
Now oh my God, he's cut in half. Oh my God.
I always said that just like at Halloween time, the veil is very thin in that week between Christmas and New Year's. So
really thin now.
ForNull is demonstrating live on air that we're actually going into other dimensions here.
Oh yeah.
Another first on the after party, everybody.
Yeah, that's
Jason,
right.
I actually thought of you on the subject of food, and I know we'll ask all of our guests this very important question.
Yes.
I thought of you because we had ham, and I know how you feel about ham. and I'm sitting there cured. Sometimes they do a fresh ham where it's more, I don't know, it looks like the white meat, but this is the cured, the pink, the salted.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is a very Jason meal, because if anyone knows Jason, if you want to get on his good side, just get him some ham. Just like some ham on the door, ham and eggs. Just throw ham,
bacon, yeah, anything like that. Don't take it too literally and bring an actual pig into the room. That would be, I don't know that I would be happy with that. I want to be able to eat the ham.
But yeah, it was ham for us, just to answer a question that wasn't directly asked of me. But ham and peas and mashed potatoes, applesauce, and this roll of, it was called like an autumn roll. It's kind of like this croissant roll that had like mushrooms and squash, and they put a little like nutmeg in it, but it was kind of sweet and savory. It was just this extra little treat. So yeah, pretty simple, but that was it. ForNull, I forget, when you mentioned chicken, were you one of those people when we had our Thanksgiving special about a month ago who doesn't have turkey? I know there were a few households we spoke to who they don't really like the taste of turkey, so they had other meats. I think Yizz was one of them, but were you one of those?
Right.
Mm-hmm. No, we had turkey. Yeah.
Okay. You're a turkey guy. Yeah.
I eat it almost every day. Like,
turkey.
as part of my lunch, I'll put turkey, sandwiches or whatever. I like turkey.
Nice.
It's a good protein.
I should check in with the chat. Are we keeping it? I know people are like, why are we watching these guys talk about food? It's just a hangout. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Definitely, as you all could tell, but if you're new to this kind of thing, when we do like a multi-guest holiday special, it's a very friendly, laid-back stream. The point is just to have some fun and be together. So please ask any questions in the chat. We'll try to keep an eye, tag me or Jason.
Yeah, indeed.
And moderators.
I want to point out though, before ForNull leaves us, that I got to see, ForNull sent me a video of his Christmas tree. And it was
it green screen or was it the real deal?
It was the real deal. Yeah, unless it was some sort of wizardry on it, which he is, of course, wont to do. It was magnificent. I mean, it's a glorious tree. People should hand out awards for that sort of thing.
Well, it's nothing compared to the guy down the street last year, or was it the year before, we went to a Christmas party, and it's a 2-story place, but the living room, the ceiling is the height of the second story. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
vaulted ceiling, yeah,
and it's way up there. And they buy like a $400 Christmas tree for this party.
Wow.
It's like 12 feet tall or something. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, they would go all out, and I've never been in anyone's home where they had something that grand before. So this year, we're like, well, we got to get a good one. Nothing like that, but we wanted to get a nice one just to really do it up, because it had been many years since we had a live Christmas tree, a real one. So
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to do that and go all out. I know. Yeah, Jason, you have a question. Before I forget, I just want to say, here's another good one we can ask people aside from the food. Is what do you put on top of the tree? Very quickly. Oh. I grew up with star. At some point, we switched to angel. I still kind of like the star because that's what I knew as a kid. But what do you top it off with? To both of you, hard hitting questions. I'm used to. Go
ahead, Jason.
Well, no, I was going to say that on the top of ForNull's tree was a Ferrari, and I thought that was
yeah, right.
I mean, that was like turning the hood ornament on itself.
I wish. I'd love a Ferrari. But yeah, a star with the lights in it,
nice.
Not the foil kind. Those are cool too. But yeah, this one has the lights. And you got to make sure to wire your tree up so that it has the plug, because the star always has like this short little plug. And if you've done it wrong, you got to undo it and redo it. So the next jack or whatever you call it, the input is up there for it. But yeah, we did it right.
Well, it was beautiful. It wasn't gaudy. It was elegant. Obviously the ForNull and Mrs. ForNull have great taste as well.
Mrs. ForNull.
Yeah.
So Jason, what do you top the tree with?
Well, I've had the same experience of going back and forth between Star and Angel. Sometimes Star, sometimes Angel.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah, I grew up too with I think it was from my grandmother. It was passed down to my mom. So when I was a little kid, I grew up with a little white dove. I think they still have it. They put it very, very close to the top too. Kind of the
right. That's the
penultimate.
It is the penultimate.
Well, yeah, like this flying peaceful white dove is a nice touch too. What about food, Jason? What was the main dish with the family?
Well, we'll get to that with our Nate, who's up next. But ForNull, final words, brother. Not for your life, of course.
Happy New Year, everyone. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a great New Year's. Do your New Year's resolutions. I think that's a good tradition to do. And I was reading a little bit about that before I came on. It came from some of the origins. Like in this one, it's called a peacock vow, I guess, in medieval times. The knights
interesting.
would do this peacock vow, and they would cook up a peacock, and they would each swear to their code of chivalry in front of it, and then the guy would carve it up into equal pieces, and they'd all eat it. And I thought that's a neat tradition, and that's kind of like a New Year's resolution. They do it at this time. But yeah, just I hope everyone has a great New Year. I'm gonna try and commit to getting fit this year, because it's been a few years without any thought to it at all, just taking care of so many other things. And there's no excuse though, I'll make time. So I want to get fit. I want to finish my Go Free game.
Nice.
Just there's a lot of different personal goals, I got to recommit to too. So yeah, so that's it.
Awesome.
And yeah, thanks for having me on, you guys. And I hope you have a great Happy New Year's.
Oh, same to you, brother. Don't go anywhere though, because we hope. Well, I mean, you'll be staying with us in the live chat, right?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, brother. Well, thanks for showing up. You're the absolute best. Give my best to your wife.
Thanks.
Happy New Year to you and the family. Say hello to Mrs. ForNull, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Happy New Year to you.
And thank you again for all your help. I say it all the time, but ForNull is very generous with his technical knowledge and know-how. When I try to record things, and I'm not quite as a technical guy, always very generous with his time and talents.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I love to do that kind of stuff. So you're welcome. All right,
sorry, brother.
Help this year.
Sign off. Have a great one.
All right, you too, brother. Bye-bye. Wow, what an epic gentleman. And now we're following up with another epic gentleman. The great Naterific is with us. And how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you all doing?
Great. How was your break?
Kind of non-existent. I think I took New Year. I think I took Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, and that was it. It was right back to it. So yeah, the 2 days was nice. We had some family in town. Afterwards, both of my kids came down with a little bit of a cold, but it only lasted for 1 day on each of them, so that was nice. Yeah, everything's going pretty well. Gonna go hang out with a buddy tomorrow for a couple hours out at his place. The guy who did the vocal track for our Thanksgiving and Christmas videos on Westman Media. He's having a couple people over, and I'm gonna go hang out with them for a little bit. So that'll be nice.
Awesome.
Hopefully we will have the Christmas story out tomorrow. I think it's getting done right now. I think No White Guilt Clips is doing the final touches on it as we speak. So that should be ready to go tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. And then, for Christmas, for the meal, we had roasted pork shoulder and everything homemade, butter rolls, baked beans, deviled eggs.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah, it was all, and a plethora of cookies. Like, I was in heaven. It
That
was
sounds
awesome.
good, man. We have a whole show ahead of us. I don't know, Jason. I don't know if we should talk about food. It's getting. Well, I had a little something before this, so I should be good. I was worrying it's going to get me hungry, but I think we'll survive. Do you have a favorite cookie, Nate?
Thumbprints. They are these little, like, it's a lot of like pecans with a basic cookie dough, and it's almost like I think they're called snickerdoodles, the things that you put the little Hershey's Kiss in.
Yeah.
Right.
So they don't taste like that at all, but they're shaped the same. They're round like that, and you push your thumb down in it, and then you fill the thumbprint with frosting. And they are just absolutely fantastic. They've been my favorite cookies since I was a little tiny guy. My grandparents used to make them for us.
So it's pecan in dough, and then there's a little frosting, like cake frosting, that's put in the middle.
Yep.
That sounds pretty crazy. I like anything pecan too. I like how it mixes with
it's
dough or
great with
pie.
it.
Not that I eat like that too often, but
we've been doing
try something.
apple pies where we line the top with candied pecans. It's really good. I should be way fat. Way fat. I should be, but I'm not. I
don't know why that's not a bigger thing.
It's really good. Sorry.
I don't know why that's not a bigger thing. That makes a lot of sense. I'm a big oatmeal guy. Anything oatmeal raisin, oatmeal chocolate chip, oatmeal cranberry, oatmeal with all three of those things.
Yeah, my wife spent like 4 years perfecting an oatmeal cookie that I adore. And it's dried oats, so it's not mushy. It's kind of more on the crunchy side after it's done, and it's mixed with coconut and chocolate chips, and I think pecans. Yeah, so it's but like crumbled pecans. And that is just my favorite general cookie. The thumbprints are my favorite Christmas cookie.
Okay. We're getting all the hard hitting stories today, really behind the scenes. We have Board Troll on D Live asked, going back to the Christmas tree conversation, if anybody puts antlers on the top of their Christmas tree. That was a new one, but that makes sense.
I have not seen that.
Yeah.
No. No, we grew up, we had one of those angels where the light bulb went inside of it. It was like a plastic angel, and the light bulb went inside, so the whole thing lit up. And then when I got older and some things happened with my family, it switched to a star that had this like rotating light thing inside of it that shined all these like psychedelic kind of colors around. And then now that I have my own place, we have a star that has lights inside of it.
Psychedelic star.
Yes, that's what we had when in my teenage years. It was cool. Very 70s. It was.
I could see that makes sense. It's like a disco ball.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Except the colors were like more like a prism kind of colors, like rainbowy colors.
Weird.
So maybe you're saying like when you were like your parents got that back in the day when they were younger and they just kept it around. So when you were a kid, you still had this holdover from the 1970s.
I bet it's a horrible fire hazard.
I'm sure.
It's up on top of the tree with like old.
It's probably illegal in most states now.
Right.
Yes.
The light bulb is like 120 volt light bulb getting ready to light the tree on fire. Like,
Yeah.
It looks cool though.
No, you have to be careful with that stuff. My parents used to live across the street from a fireman, and they would get the lessons from him, but it is serious stuff. It is serious stuff.
Yeah, because Christmas trees can just go up like.
Yeah, it wasn't a Christmas tree. It wasn't a Christmas tree, but we were talking to my cousins on Christmas Day, and their neighbors, a few houses down from them, who we've met when we've gone to functions at my cousin's house, their whole house burnt down.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't the Christmas tree, it was something in the garage. Everyone's okay. And they got something things of sentimental value out of the house. But I just mentioned that because we all, of course, kept them in our thoughts and prayers. So
Were
I
they
mentioned
like
that for a
frying
minute.
a turkey or something?
No, it was something from the garage. I
Just
forget
something
all the
randomly
details.
combusted,
It
like a
was,
tank of
yeah,
gas or something?
it wasn't anything with cooking, and it wasn't the Christmas tree. Something happened when they were out and they came back and it had already started, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
Did
they were just
the
trying to get
street
about
mysteriously smell like cat urine?
the
Cat urine.
street.
Then it would have
Oh.
been meth. It would have been.
Oh,
That's the whole thing.
the
Like
garage.
Is it?
right,
I don't even
right.
know
They're
what
out in their
Nate,
garage doing something
Nate, why do you know
mysterious.
what do you know what meth smells like?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I never watched it.
Wow.
I did. That was before I turned off the cable and all that stuff. That was one of the last things that I watched before television anti-white entertainment disappeared from my life.
Yeah, I
And
remember a lot
amen
of
to
people,
that.
being into it, and I never really watched it. But I don't know where some people would say that it shows you how negative all that stuff is, and then other people said, I don't know, these shows it still kind of glorifies that in a way. I don't know if you have thoughts on that. As I said, I never even saw it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I never got the impression that they were glorifying drug abuse. I mean, all the people in it who were using the drugs, they did not make it seem glamorous at all. I thought it was a good show, but I can definitely see, the degeneracy and but at the same time, like I also see this was a man who, worked his whole life and then was getting screwed as he was, entering a very difficult period of his life. And he decided, screw it, I'm not going to follow the rules anymore. I'm going to do what I want to do to make what I want to make, and so my family can be better off when I'm gone. Because that's the premise of the story, is he was dying of cancer, and he was getting screwed. And he wanted to make sure his son and his new baby and his wife were taken care of when he was gone, and he couldn't find another way to do it. But he was a chemist, and so he just, by happenings, he stumbled into people from his life that were in that world, and he put it together and did what needed to be done. Now, I would in no way encourage people to go out and start cooking meth to make money for their family. I think that's, probably a really bad idea. And I mean, there's all sorts of things that could go wrong. But the show itself, I didn't see it as like glorifying it. I mean, his family hates him in the end. He gets killed. Like they don't make it. They don't make it seem like, this was a good decision. You know what I mean? Like it's a drama.
Right.
And I thought it was a good show, but I also wouldn't go back and watch it again now, because I'm sure I'll start being like, oh, that's anti-white. That's anti-white.
Yeah.
That's anti-white. There was mixed race relationships. There was all sorts of, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely modern, anti-whiteism, but I also have seen more anti-white things and more degenerate things.
So Nate's closing thoughts for today are: don't don't start making methamphetamine or anything else for that matter that's illegal. But brother, what else do you have for closing thoughts aside from the admonition to not make methamphetamine?
That's about it. Just don't become a drug maker.
Don't make it methamphetamine.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can all agree on that.
That's it. And what about where folks can reach you if they want to participate in the outreach team? We're going to be talking about that, of course, more on Going Free, but go for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to help us out with the outreach team, you can reach out to me at White Wellbeing Outreach Team at protonmail.com. You can reach me there for pretty much anything that you might want to ask about, whether it's Westman Media, the outreach team, whatever. You can contact me through that email. Things are going pretty well with that. We're getting back in the swing of things. A lot of people took some time off over the holidays, and it's coming back together now. We're looking to hit it full throttle in New Year. And yeah, with that, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and has a Happy New Year. And hopefully we can keep all this great progress of White Wellbeing moving forward.
Amen to that, bro.
I know you will. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Nate.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you and the family. And we'll talk soon.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Bye, brother. All right. And now, if things, Jared, could not get any more interesting, as ForNull returned to his wife and the things that the Mr. and Mrs. ForNull are wont to do, Brant Danger has occupied his living room.
Right. Well, I want to say that this is actually our living room. I'm a roommate.
Oh,
with
okay.
ForNull, and you failed to mention that. I don't.
Are you setting up a White Wellbeing headquarters somewhere?
Yeah, and I don't like to kick people when they're down, but ForNull was down on his luck. He was thinking about cooking meth, and I said, "Look, buddy, I'll go and have these with you. Let's make it work." And he said, "Okay." He doesn't give me credit for it, but I'm here to tell the truth.
So what do you
That's
have
how
him?
close it was.
What do you have him doing around the house to earn his keep?
He's really good at vacuuming and dusting. What I try and do is tell him, like, you got to dust first because the dust goes down and then vacuum. He normally does it backwards. He's getting a lot better.
Well, he has developed, being ForNull, he developed that robot that dusts. So maybe it'll take the place of him personally doing it.
That would be a ForNull thing.
It absolutely would be.
I have better things to do than housekeeping, so I'm just going to build a robot that does all the cleaning for us.
Yeah.
No,
He's
I've got to
tinkering
ask.
all the time.
He's a tinkerer. ForNull is one of our European archetypes of the tinkerer. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without question.
I think I mentioned that on our Thanksgiving show when he was on too.
Actually, you know what? I could imagine that if you were to like climb some sort of, there'd be like 3 people. You climb some sort of a lofty mountain and you would find like magic and tinkering and sci-fi and etc. going on. It would be ForNull, Brant, and Groundhog Fury would all be in the cave making these things happen, making the magic happen. We'd find out that
the engine room,
we find out that this is how the world actually rotates. They're working on it in the background somewhere. But I wanted to ask, because Brant is now and we're going to have Brant on for a little bit on Sunday, but he's our big star now. And with all of the media trying to slay him, and instead Streisand effect promulgating his good work to who knows how many hundreds of thousands in the end. You know, once it reaches everybody, it's going to reach and gets reposted everywhere. It's going to be reposted, these different articles. But I wanted to ask Brant if you were ever around the lovely I guess it was called tinsel that was made out of lead that used to hang beautifully on the trees back in the day, and all of us kids used to just suck on it before putting it on the tree, and it just hung there beautifully. If anybody ever saw that, it was a wonderful. But yeah, then they had to go ahead and make it illegal. I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, I was not around that. I've seen pictures of that, and lead is very soft. It's going to hang really straight, so it's a superior product for looks.
Yes.
We had the little cheap tinfoil, icicles.
Right.
And what happened to my family is on the day after Thanksgiving, the Christmas tree would go up, and my dad wanted to put the icicles on and then the lights on the outside of that so the icicles would reflect the light. My mom wanted to put the lights on and the icicles on the outside, and it was the same fight every year. So I would sit and watch this fight for a few hours. And then they'd finally decide something, and then we'd be done with it. And what my mom did is when my dad was a lieutenant, when she was in the Officers' Wives Club, they do a lot of activities. And one of the things they would do is they'd made a lot of ceramics. And one of the ceramics that she made was an angel. It's about this tall. It was pretty cool. And it had really broad wings. And she put that on top of the Christmas tree. And what I would do is I had a little a barbarian, and he had a big barbarian helmet with wings on it. There it is.
Cool.
I'm disappearing. It had wings on it. So I would take the helmet and I would put it on top of the angel because it looked really cool. What I really wanted to do is drill up through the bottom of the angel and then drill 2 tiny holes for its eyes and put a red light inside the angel so red light would come out where its eyes were. But I never got permission to do that.
Wow. That sounds cool. So you got to really influence the family's Christmas with the warrior on top of the Christmas tree. We have the warrior on top, and then we have the antlers. Have you ever heard or seen anybody doing the antlers? And was there anything about this year's break and Christmas break that you are particularly happy about or would like to share?
Yeah, I got this here. So, let me see if
I just want to point out that the
Here's the
Tesseract,
magic, people. Here's the magic.
The Tesseract, the rip in the space-time continuum is a little more severe here.
You can't tell what this is. This is a 3-dimensional, 3D printed model of the moon.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's accurate because I used to teach Earth and space.
Wow.
So my woman got me this globe, which is going in and out of reality right here.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And it changes colors. It does all sorts of great things. So anyway, I'll just kind of hold this here as a prop while I talk.
Brant, it kind of adds to the interdimensional thing going on.
It adds to the mess.
Your house is definitely more on the border of the veil than ForNull's house. Well, assuming he has a different house. You're claiming that he's living with you, but
that's my claim. Yeah.
Someone just messaged me that they really just have the same interior designer. So I don't know. I'm getting mixed messages.
I don't know. I'm confused about the whole thing. I'll get it sorted out later.
What other colors does the moon turn?
It turns.
That's great.
I don't know if you can see. It does red, green, blue.
Oh, so we're not gonna be able to see, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, you can't tell. It's too subtle.
Okay. For the sunlight coming in. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you've got sunlight.
Oh, that changed it. Right. Go back one.
Yeah. So
then we could see the actual contours.
That's a no light right there. Isn't this great, everyone? Is everyone learning a lot? So anyway, I'll just say real fast, the dark spots of the moon, that's lava on the moon when the moon used to be closer to the Earth. So it's actually big lava fields. And then on the backside of the moon, they don't have the lava fields, or it doesn't have lava fields. It just has all the craters. Because when the moon was closer to the Earth, it melted this area here. The lava poured out and covered up a lot of the craters, and you don't have that on the backside of the moon.
Fascinating.
That's what the Pink Floyd album was about. No craters on the dark side of the moon.
Except there is the dark side of the moon is the side of the moon that's always away from the sun. So there isn't a true dark side of the moon that we never see. There's a side of the moon that we don't see. Sometimes it's the dark side and sometimes it's the light side.
But when you see the man of the moon, it's the front side.
Right, because the moon is tidal locked with us. We always see the same face of the moon all the time. The moon doesn't spin around that we can see it.
Right.
We always see the same face all the time.
Oh, I thought you were saying there's a time when we do. Okay, so we always see. That makes more sense, actually, with Dark Side of the Moon. We always see the same face of the moon.
Right. And when it's a new moon, we are actually looking at the dark side of the moon, but we can't see it because it's completely enveloped in darkness because the sun's on the other side.
So there's no face on that side.
No. Just a bunch of stars and alien bases.
Yeah.
Of course.
And Santa Claus. But there's nothing else besides that.
Nothing else besides those things.
And a secondary workshop that Brant, ForNull, and Groundhog Fury are building as well.
That's right. Yeah, there's another mock-up of one of these houses up there. Same thing.
There's a portal actually now between there and here. Someone is saying Tap's gotten to the point where guests are performing occult rituals live on air. We're going to, it's as if there aren't weird rumors going around already, and people trying to take us down. This might not help, or it might help.
Turn green. We can see it. We can see the colors now.
Yeah, now it's gonna go through its cycle.
Sweet. So that could be
How
your
come I
mood
never?
light.
How come I never see it pink in the sky though? I guess it's pink sometimes.
Yeah.
More orangey. I love it when it's orange. Yeah, this is
Oh,
really becoming a strange episode of the after party.
Well,
Jason, I wasn't lying when I said that the veil is thin in the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's getting a little
It's getting-
trippy.
It's getting
definitely
thinner all
thin.
the time, guys.
It's getting
I
thinner
know.
all the time.
I know. That's how I write my songs.
This is the mood light. Well, any final thoughts that you have, brother? You want to share with folks? And you'll be back on Sunday. We'll be talking with you.
No, nothing else about the moon, the fantastic globe. I hope that everyone has a happy New Year. And if you didn't get any snow at Christmas, I hope you get some for New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
Or St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. Anytime's a good time for snow.
St. Patrick's Day is getting a little late for snow. I say,
Depends upon where you live.
yeah, I don't know. Once we're past March 15th, I think I'm good with snow. But what did you eat real quick? What did you, we seem to be asking everyone, what was the main, at least the main meat
Just
on
bacon,
Christmas?
just Christmas bacon and eggs. Christmas eggs and Christmas bacon. We got chickens this year, so I got the farm fresh eggs all the time, which is cool.
Nice.
Got an egg machine. And then also we had lots of the little, I call them Christmas cookies. I guess they're just flat sugar cookies. And then mostly like you cut them out like Christmas trees or Santa Claus or a stocking or whatever. And then Christmas trees are my favorite. Make the icing, frost them with green icing, and then you put the little sprinkles, or you can get the little silver balls and you can make it look like it's decorated on the tree.
Oh.
And then the icing kind of crystallizes. That crystallizes, but it hardens a little bit. It's kind of nice. And then you can freeze them if you can't eat them all, if you're not a giant pig. And then later on throughout the year, you take one out, you have a little tiny Christmas break and eat it, and you're good to go.
Oh, that's a cool tradition.
Yeah, I just made it up. That was a good idea.
Awesome.
Going forward, it's an awesome tradition.
Going forward, it's a great tradition.
Great tradition.
Well, brother, it's great having you on, and we'll look forward to having you on Sunday.
All right. Be nice to talk to you.
All right. Happy New Year.
You too, guys.
Happy New Year, Brant. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. That was the one and only Brant Danger. And now, for another one and only, we have a sweet Miss Carlisle Cockatoo has joined us. Hello, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
We sure can. Perfectly.
That's your calling card. Every time you get on, it's
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I never know because there's always internet issues at my house. It's fantastic.
So you're having an internet issue.
I am.
Okay.
sounds
But
fun.
We hear you just fine.
Oh, fantastic.
I immediately have a question, and I know you're prepared for this because we saw this in the chat. So you said that your favorite Christmas cookie is called the Divinity cookie. Now, I've never heard of this, Jason. I don't know if you know what a Divinity cookie is. Am I missing something here? No.
I am so sorry, Jared, that you have lived your entire life and you have never been introduced to Divinity. It is
I've never been introduced to Divinity. Again,
I
this is a
believe
very
it is
trippy
the-
episode, everybody.
Absolutely. It is the official international food of heaven, I believe. It is
Food of heaven, okay.
absolutely spectacular.
The international
this
food of heaven.
White, fluffy candy that is just, I mean, it just melts in your mouth, but it doesn't melt. It's almost like it's perfection. That's what it is. It's absolute perfection. My grandmother makes it better than anyone.
So this is where methamphetamines came from. Is that where it was started with your grandmother? Have we just come full circle?
But it was sugar. There wasn't anything worse than sugar in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. That's basically what Divinity is it's a lot of sugar and egg whites. You have to whip the egg whites to such a consistency that if you try to make Divinity on a day where it's rainy or overcast or there's too much moisture in the air, the candy won't form and it won't harden. So that's how particular it is to make. But I mean, it takes hours, and it takes a lot of focus, and you have to get it just right. It is so worth every second of effort. It is spectacular.
Is that what you ate during your Christmas break?
During the dinner.
I wish that's what I ate. I did not have time to make a batch this year, so I was kind of bummed out. But yeah, I guess you could make Divinity any time of year, though, so it's not over. I could always make some for New Year's, maybe.
There you go.
I'm not satisfied with the description. I'm trying to picture this better. So it's not a cookie. It's more of a you're describing
Almost
this. You're
like the
describing this extra state. It's like
consistency.
not a gas. It's not a liquid.
It's
Exactly.
a plasma.
Is
Exactly.
it plasma?
Yes, it would be the plasma of cookies and candy. It's like it's this.
Perfection. I'm looking it up. Egg white corn syrup. Carlisle is such a sweet tooth, and sugar. It's crazy.
It is so.
So how was your
oatmeal cookie? Is a little more like the oatmeal is a little hearty. It's a little more like a meal. I don't feel like I'm just having sugar.
Well, but why would you eat cookies for a meal? I mean, I'm not against that. I'm just saying.
I just
You don't
don't
have
like things. I don't like things. I can't have a lot of anything. And I know Jason's the same, where I feel like it's just the sugar content.
Well, and that's why with Divinity, you make them very small. So, like, you can make a
You
batch.
psychologically tell yourself you're not having a lot, but you end up having like 2 pounds in one.
Yeah.
Well, ideally, you're only supposed to eat like the one little dollop at a time, because you really need to savor it. And once you've eaten it, you do feel like satisfied. You're like, okay, this is enough sugar for right now.
This is enough sugar. The question is, what's more, 2 pounds of Divinity the size of a quarter, or 2 pounds of Divinity the size of softballs?
Wow. That
Yeah.
sounds like a meth question, like when they're dividing it up and they're selling it and all that. I don't know.
I really think we should steer clear of the
meth connection to Divinity cookies,
to
or
anything,
foam candy,
really.
or whatever it is.
Change the subject. Change the subject.
How was your Christmas break?
My Christmas break was fantastic. It started out a little bit rocky. I had, over the summer, there had been some rain in the new house that I had moved into, and I didn't realize it, but I think they're called the Barclay doors. They open, they're like the old fashioned kind where people used to have access to the basement from the outside of the house, and they kind of open on either side.
Yes.
I didn't realize that those doors have a little bit of a leak around the rim. So we got a crazy amount of rain, and I knew that there was rain in my basement. I didn't know where the sources were. I knew that the owners had said that one of the windows was a little leaky. So I had been cleaning up the rain and so forth, but I had not noticed it towards the other side where the doors were. And that is where, for some reason, the people that lived there before me had actually built a shelf attached to the wall. So I had put boxes of Christmas ornaments on that shelf. And I had no reason to go into those boxes until I went and looked for my ornaments the other day. It was actually the day before Christmas Eve, and I opened them, and I discovered that there had formed an enormous amount of mold in the boxes, and I was devastated because a lot of my Christmas ornaments were made by my sisters and I by hand when we were very little. That was something that my mom used to do with us, and it was something we really enjoyed doing. My father, who passed away when I was very little, had helped us make some as well, and so those were especially meaningful. And then also the day after Christmas, my mom would go and purchase ornaments with us because we didn't have a lot of expendable income, but we would wait until everything was like totally marked down the day after Christmas, and she would take us all out. And it became really special because it was something we looked forward to, and it was something different. Like everyone else, like their Christmas was over on Christmas, but we had this like special thing that we would go out and do the day after. So it was really special. And we would get these ornaments. We would each pick one out, and we would take them home and put them in our hope chest, which is a chest that my uncle made for each of us. And it was things that we would gather as we were growing up that we would hopefully use one day with our own families when we got married and had children. And so we would put the ornaments away and keep them. So I had all of my ornaments from the time I was really little, and we'd go out and pick them out the day after Christmas. And I was so, I was really sick that they were all just, I mean, it was just, the mold was everywhere. And so I opened up the box in the morning before I went to work, and my friend Laura was there, and she saw what they looked like. And I didn't say anything because I had to go to work and I needed to be professional, and there was meetings and so forth. But then I expected to come home to just a real mess. And I was so sad that night when I came home. And what I actually came home to was Laura had spent the day gathering donated ornaments from many people that I've never met. Her mother had a lot of friends in a bridge club that all donated ornaments. And the amazing thing is they took them off of their own trees to give to somebody who didn't have any, that they had never met. And it was only 2 days before Christmas. So it wasn't like they weren't using them. So it was really spectacular. A really wonderful thing and wonderful experience came from a really negative and sad experience. So, and that was kind of a wonderful Christmas story as well, because it is about giving. So
It is indeed. Yeah, that's beautiful. You have a good friend there. Sounds like something from a movie.
Yeah.
yeah, she's a wonderful person. She has a beautiful heart.
Yeah, that really is. See, now it's actually sweet. That kind of sweet I could deal with, and maybe not the Divinity cream puff plasmoid interdimensional. I was also trying really hard not, when you started mentioning your basement, not to mention Beth Labs, and keep that theme, that motif going. We really need to drop it. But I guess I revived it. I'm sorry. But no, that is a very, very sweet story. And now, so you have all these ornaments from people that are Laura or Lauren's friends.
Laura, yep.
Laura's
Her mother's friends, yep, donated. And so it's really amazing. And everyone said that they wanted me to keep them. So I, in the future, when I get out my Christmas ornaments in years to come, I will always have these wonderful little treasures off of other people's trees that they have shared with me. And fortunately, a friend suggested that I look into like mold removal services and see if maybe like dry cleaners could help with some of the ornaments. So I have found a dry cleaner who's working to try to clean off some of the ones that weren't damaged badly.
Well, that sounds like a really good friend as well. You're just surrounded by good friends.
I am. I'm lucky that way.
You are lucky that way. Well, you've had the sweetest story, and it's apropos so far. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with us. Is there anything else you want to share before we let you go and bring on the inimitable Roy Danton?
I don't think so. We were discussing in the chat my unfortunate squirrel attack incident, but I don't think that is a Christmas story. So we'll have to save that for a different time.
I don't know. You talked about bears at one point, and now you're telling us. I think it was the Halloween. Was it the Halloween episode? You're telling us about how you have a problem with bears and Snuggle Bear and the evil.
Now you have a problem.
Now you have a problem with squirrels. I think you need to ask yourself who the common denominator is here. Who might be the problem? If you get
all kinds of wildlife.
I'm not going to go
I
there.
was minding my own business in the park, feeding squirrels popcorn, when this just angry, just purely just angry, he has a lot of pent up rage squirrel, bit me
Rage.
for no reason whatsoever. It was totally unprovoked. I reached out to give him a little piece of popcorn, and they have those little snaggy nail hands that they reach out with, and he reached out with his little snaggy nails, and instead of like taking the popcorn, he grabbed onto my hand and then just lunged with his teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it was
Rabies?
I hope he got checked for rabies.
Well, okay, that's the thing though, is how can you identify? Do you know how hard it is to identify one particular squirrel in the park?
Well, that might be offensive to squirrels to say that they all look alike.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I said that in the emergency room.
Have you seen the bell curves on squirrels?
I was like, he
Seen
was
the squirrel
gray.
stack?
Yeah, I was like,
He was
he's gray
gray.
and angry. I was like, he's the angry squirrel.
He was really squirrely.
So they couldn't find him to test him. So they ended up
Wait.
treating me for rabies, which
So they can't test you? They have to just give you a treatment? I don't know how this works.
They did treat me. So because they didn't want to wait, because I guess rabies is deadly. So they just went ahead and started treating me, which is a crazy amount of injections to your stomach,
Really?
actually. Yes. And then you come back for 6 weeks and you get more injections in your side and your stomach. So that created a line between squirrels and I. That bridge can never be rebuilt. Those are lines that have been crossed, that we just have to coexist now, because we cannot be friends again.
All right. Well, I can understand that somewhat. And now all of a sudden you have COVID. Like, oh yeah, died of rabies, COVID.
Died of rabies.
Exactly.
We're gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it light. It's a holiday, New Year's, end of the year special. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, and you have to go now get these rabies shots.
Oh well, that's done though. That was a while. That was a while back. So we're
I thought
past
this
that.
was
No,
recent.
we're past that. The reason it came up in chat is because somebody complimented my avatar, and I said that the green sweater is my squirrel sweater. It's got little fluffy gray squirrels. And my friend Laura actually purchased this sweater because she saw it in a store, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to have that because of the whole squirrel attack incident." So it was a while back. So I mean, the memories though are still very vivid. And as I said, those are just lines that can never be. That bridge has been burned. Like that cannot be rebuilt.
Can we have Laura on at some point?
Hear the other
Laura
side
would
of these
love-
stories.
Oh, Laura would love to come
It's
on. Absolutely.
wilder than we believe.
Well, she keeps coming up. She sounds like
Yeah,
very
when we hear the
influential.
other side of the story, it'll be that Carlisle was stomping on squirrels when one finally attacked her. And it was totally in self-defense.
Yeah.
That's what the squirrel would say, obviously.
She got you the squirrel actually because your therapist recommended it. If you wore a cozy squirrel sweater, you might have positive associations with squirrels and come to not take your rage out on them and stomp on them.
Absolutely. No,
I think we need to get Laura. Get the other side of this. It's only fair.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you look at squirrels, you have to look past the fluffy exterior and the friendly demeanor, and you have to see what's there, which is the face of Satan.
Naturally.
That's
Naturally the face. That's what I think every time I see a squirrel, the face of Satan. And those are Carlisle's final thoughts today.
Well, our British friends might agree with you about the brown squirrels who came over from the States and are displacing the native British red squirrels.
Yeah.
Remember that whole situation? We've talked about that in one of the earliest TAP episodes, actually.
That sounds like a geopolitical crisis.
It is a geopolitical crisis. I mean, my phones were ringing off the hook before we got on. I'm trying to negotiate a peace. That's my legacy. Some presidents wanted to negotiate peace in the Middle East. My legacy is the squirrel question.
The squirrel question.
This transatlantic squirrel question. I feel like after the Revolutionary War in 1776, now we can't have this. straining our inter-Anglo relationship here between America and the UK.
Totally agreed. 100%.
Are we
The
even an
squirrel
Anglo country
question
anymore? No,
must be
I don't-
addressed.
I don't know. I don't even see natural blonde people anymore. See, here I'm in this mood of like just peppering in dark, serious things.
Dark
amid-
into the
amidst
levity.
the lighthearted stuff. I'm like, are we even an Anglo? Not. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, on that story that was nuts, we will bid you adieu, Carlisle.
yeah, it's nice
Yes,
speaking
thank
to you,
you for being
Carlisle.
here.
Nice speaking to you.
I hope you have more peace with animals around you in
Yeah.
the coming year.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
especially
you.
on Thanksgiving. Those big turkeys they're big birds. Watch out.
They fly low. I know people who have hit the windshields, hit the turkey line.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
Carlisle, lay off the sweets, and we will talk soon.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And now we bring, without further ado, the one and only Roy Danton.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, good brother.
Hello.
How are you? And how has your break been?
I'm doing great, and it's nice to be here again. Thank you so much for having me on.
The pleasure is all ours, brother.
Yeah, and after those fantastic guests, and especially having like ForNull on and Carlisle, I actually came prepared this time. So I have eaten before because I figured there would be quite some talk about food and stuff.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
wise. That was wise. Yes.
Yeah,
So-
it reminded me of, when was it, the Thanksgiving stream, I think, because I watched that in replay when I was driving back from a lovely real life event that I was at, and it was a long drive, and it was getting to some area with some mountains, and you have those roads where you're driving for an hour before you get to the next town, and then people started talking about their turkey and what they had for Thanksgiving. And I was getting so hungry. I hadn't eaten that day. I had like a 6-7 hour drive. And I know, it's another hour before I get to the next town and I can stop to get something. I was getting more and more tired and I was quite happy. I got to some gas station and just went in and they had some pizza. And yeah, just get some pizza, had some pizza. And
Yes. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, but you might wager to guess, American gas station pizza is not quite the highest iteration of pizza, of what pizza
Yes.
can be. So Roy had to be pretty hungry. It was between that and roadkill. It was a close call.
Definitely. And this was like something like 10, 11 p.m. So it's basically pizza that's been warmed up for like 12 hours.
It's like the Yugo of pizzas. If anybody remembers the Yugo.
Is that a car?
Datsun. Yeah, it was a very briefly produced automobile by Yugoslavia, right? I think a real piece of junk.
Really? When it was all together as Yugoslavia, they produced a car called the Yugo?
I believe that's right. Maybe somebody could look that up. I believe that's who produced it. It was junk.
And then so that leads me to believe it wasn't Hugo, like the man's name with an H. It was just the first 4 letters of Yugoslavia.
I guess so. That seems
wow. That is a bit of trivia I did not know.
Yeah, maybe somebody will figure it out. ForNull says Yugoslavian car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jerome is saying it was a clone of a Fiat, so it was based on a Fiat body. Very interesting.
They were little, and they had handles that ran along the side for the pallbearers in case you got into an accident. So they would
already
carry your grave straight to your grave.
Made out of aluminum foil. It was basically like a motorcycle with aluminum foil around it.
Yeah, giant aluminum foil body around it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Probably something like, the Trabant, the car that was made in the communist part of Germany. That was also, it was mostly plastic. I've actually never seen one up close, but I've seen them on television.
Yeah, I thought that was Russian. It was East German.
Yeah, they were produced in East German, but I think they were made based on a Russian design. And you had to wait I think 20 years to get one. So, okay.
Not quite the proud German tradition you get from
No.
manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Porsche, Audi. You have a very fine car tradition.
Yeah, but here in the US, we also have like Ford, and I'm quite happy with my Ford. It's a nice car.
Do you have a pickup truck?
No, so the thing was actually, I was actually thinking about getting a pickup truck, but the thing is, I wouldn't really have any use for the bed because I'm not really transporting things. So I figured if I get a car this size and I get a pickup truck, I have a huge area of that car that I probably never use, and that
you'll just be lugging around. Hey,
and that's getting a mess to clean up when it's raining or something. So why not get like a huge SUV, because then you have a large inside area of the car, and the car is the same size, and you have some nice room.
That was a wise decision.
Roy, we are going to keep you on, and we're going to bring on Yizz at the same time because she's working right now, so she can only say hello brief. So just sit tight. You're still with us. Feel free to jump into the conversation. But Yizz is with us, working in the midst of work. Hello, sister. How are you?
Are you driving?
Hi. It's good to hear Roy's voice and be on stream with Roy. Hi, Roy.
Hello, Yizz.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be off hours ago, but because of how busy it's been, they wanted me to stay late, and then late turned into 12 hours, and now 12 turned into 14. So
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna be working all night probably. But anyway, I love you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, glad Yule, and all that stuff. I'm glad that I get to be here at least in some fashion.
Yes,
we're
always
so happy to have you. What did
always
you do
happy to be here
for your holiday?
I visited family. I took care of my mother a lot and helped her do decorations because she had to get eye surgery. It's not LASIK, but it's something to do with making her be able to see clearer with glaucoma or something. She has problems with capillaries and something that's like glaucoma, but not with her eyes. And the only time she could really schedule her surgery was either a window around Christmas or a window 6 months from now. So she took this one. So I've been helping her get around and stuff. And she's going back in a few months for a final surgery. And that should give her healthy eyesight the rest of her life. So that's good. And I've been visiting with family, just doing the regular holiday thing here. Hasn't been a super active holiday, but it's been a pretty good one. I've got to see 8 or 9 family members that have driven in from different places. A couple flew in from out west. And it was just overall pretty positive time. But my family shrinks because I'm one of the youngest ones. Most of us are dying off except cousins. So it's always sad.
Well, I want to ask, because we haven't had an opportunity to ask anybody.
Sure.
What are your favorite Christmas decorations? Either you've put up or you've seen on others.
I love lights. I just love decorating with lights. I know that that's kind of corny and old fashioned, but I love lots of bright colored Christmas lights. I helped my mother put up maybe 3,000, 4,000 some years.
Wow.
She has different structures. These little wireframe reindeers, little wireframe nativity scene, wireframe Santa, all the Christian and regular Americana Christian or Christmas stuff. Right. She has a lot of outside and inside decorations that we store in her basement. So they just get a tarp all year long. So it doesn't take a lot of time to take them in and out, because we love doing lots of big decorations. And so over the years, we developed a, I guess you could say, a system for being able to decorate a lot without having to put, 5 days of work into it one way, going in and going out.
I'm actually going to get something. I'll be right back.
Oh, maybe you have spurred the thought of Jared about some sort of light system that he might have. Well, that's wonderful, though. I mean, that's a lot of lights.
We put up strands all around her home. We decorate 2 rooms. We have a decorated mantle and fireplace with lights and decor. And if she wasn't so private, I would love to give you guys a virtual tour, but she won't stand for that. So.
Oh, well, that's understandable.
Yeah,
but I mean, everybody who's close gets to see the beauty of that, and that's a wonderful memory.
And it's also something personal we get to do every year together, so that's nice.
That's
well. And I can't see YouTube chat or anything, so hello to everybody in the chat. Sorry I can't be here properly tonight, but I just been working like a dog lately. I don't have time for much else.
No, well, we appreciate anything.
Yeah, we appreciate
I just wanted to quickly. I love lights too, but Kingdom of Vinland in the chat said his favorite decoration is the nutcrackers. So I have this passed
Oh.
down from the family. This guy
wow.
is nice.
Oh, that's
nice
awesome.
size
That is awesome.
and very regal in his navy with the gold trim.
Yeah.
So this guy is hanging out. I have him
Cool.
up front.
Well, is there anything you guys want to ask me or talk about before I have to go? Because I should get out of here in about 2 minutes.
Food.
Food?
Yeah, what do you like? What did you have?
Oh,
that you love?
holiday food?
Yeah.
Oh, we do big sweet and seasoned country ham every year. That's what we love.
Oh my
here.
goodness.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, well, Jason, come down and visit. My mom knows who you are. You got to come down and visit us one year. Well, I guarantee you'll go home 10 pounds heavier.
Well, I'll have to walk so I can drop it on the way back.
I'm just teasing. We won't fatten you up, but you are welcome to come down any Christmas. Same goes for the lot of you. And speaking of meeting up, we will be talking in the near future about the spring meetup. I want to do the Go Free meetup, so we'll definitely be talking about that. But I gotta go. I love you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Christmas,
Glad
Happy New Year.
I wish I could have been
Merry
here more. I'm
Christmas.
sorry.
No, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Good to see you too. Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Good to
Bye-bye,
see you
guys.
as well. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Well, on that note, I want to ask Roy about the decorations in Germany. And what kind of decorations do folks put up in Germany? Do our people put up there that you haven't seen here in the States?
Well, actually, speaking of decorations, when I look back, so my trees basically got a bit smaller every year, a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. Because when I was a kid and I was living in a very little village, and I still remember I was very, very little, and it was this wonderful Christmas. We had a lot of snow, and then my granddaddy actually went to the nearby woods and he chopped some tree, and everybody was doing it. People just went to the woods, chopped the tree, and then brought it home. And he went there with a couple neighbors, and the tree was actually too big to put into our house. So he cut like the top of the tree off, and the top of the tree then went inside, and the rest was standing outside, and it was still almost as tall as the house. So I'm not sure. Like, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I mean, I was like a tiny little kid and looking up at a gigantic tree that was a lot bigger than I was. It looked amazing, and I have some great childhood memories. We didn't have much decorations because, well, at that time people didn't have much money, so we got a tree and we put some lights on, and but we never put like anything that could burn on that. We were always a bit worried that if you have real candles, that can get very, very dangerous. And also people keep their trees for quite some while. But we had years where we had a tree for like 3 weeks until it gets really bad, and then you have to put it out. And then
Roy, I wanted to ask if the Christmas tree is especially a point of pride in Germany, because from as far as we know, that tradition essentially began there, bringing an evergreen into the home.
And we also have this tradition of the May tree. I'm not sure how you call it here. On 1st of May, people don't bring it inside; they have it outside, and it's usually just one place in each town where people all gather together, and then you have this big tree and it's getting set up. This is nicely decorated because it's usually done by the city or the town where you are, and it's like quite big, and then you have a little fire around that. So that's also a wonderful tradition that we have. But actually, while I was here, and I was just at this beautiful real life event with some friends, and when I was coming back and I was driving, I had to take some country roads. And there was all these houses that were so amazingly decorated, like houses. I saw houses that the entire house was lit up completely, and then and some houses people even turned like their tree into some Santa Claus with lights.
Oh, wow.
there was one house where they had like Santa Claus, some reindeers and the sleigh and all that. Had like a real scene basically played out, just with lights set up, and it was dark while I was driving, and obviously I had to focus on the road, but it was nice seeing. That's something I haven't really seen much in Germany, but probably also because people don't have so much room as they have here.
I mean, like the land around your house.
Yeah.
Right.
People here have so much land around your house, and also what's a bit different in Germany is that people in Germany usually have like a fence or something around their entire property. You don't have this open thing where you have like a huge space around your house and it's just open so that you can just like walk up. In Germany, people are more like a bit more private. So
You want to, the boundary.
Yeah,
the boundary. I can understand that.
Yeah.
You reminded me, I actually have a nutcracker from Germany that I got in Germany. He's not as big as the guy I just showed on camera, but he's got the green Bavarian suit. He's got the whole getup, and he has a beer glass in his hand. Very kitschy German thing. Are you big on the nutcrackers as well?
A bit, yes.
Yeah.
What about, is there a standard German meal? Like, does everyone have the same dish? Is there a national dish on Christmas Day for the Christmas Day meal, or does it vary?
I think it varies pretty much. But one thing is like Christmas Eve, you usually have like something little. So tradition is basically on the 24th. On the evening, you have the tree nicely decorated. When I was a kid, the Christmas Eve is basically the first day when you actually put the lights on the tree on. Like you might have it in the house a bit earlier, we might have it decorated, but the lights go on Christmas Eve for the very first time. And that's also why when the presents are underneath the tree, so the children basically have to stay out of the room, so the adults then prepare everything. The presents are underneath, and then you come in as a child, and then you see the tree lighted up the first time. You have all these presents standing, but then usually we have some little meal, not much, just like a little bit, some potato salad and sausages is something we had quite often. And then after that, you open the presents and then because the idea is you have some presents as a child, you get some toys, you have like a model railway or something like that you want to play around with. So you get the food first, and then you open your presents and just enjoy the evening.
So
And then
sausages, are there special Christmas sausages, recipes, and seasoning?
No, just the normal sausages. But then Christmas Day and the first and second Christmas Day, we have the big food for lunch, where people cook something very big. We're not really sausages is not so turkey is not really a thing in Germany. It's more like you get like a rabbit, or you get some deer or something.
Rabbit,
so
really?
Something a little bit more fancy that you don't. Or duck. Duck is also duck is usually for New Year's Eve.
Duck.
Duck or deer. Some basically food that you don't eat every day. That's difficult to make. That's quite expensive to buy, and then you have a very nice meal. And you have some dumplings and
Yum.
some noodles, and it always tastes delicious.
Well, Roy,
I want to hear from one of our Brit friends if anyone still does goose. You know, you hear about back in the day, Charles Dickens, Victorian era. You hear about the Christmas goose.
Yeah, the Christmas goose.
Oh yeah, I think I heard of that as well. Yeah, but it's like a big bird, and you can't really eat it all by yourself. It's a little bit.
Oh, it's for a family, yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, and then we did it a couple of times when we got it from some of the local farmers, and they gave us like a smaller one, and we could share with some of the neighbors. and had some people come over, then you can do it. But if you're just like 2 or 3 people, then it's a little bit too big.
Mm-hmm.
Well, brother, it was delicious having you on. It's always a joy. And any final words that you'd like to share before we let you go today?
Yeah, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and just use these couple of days to just relax, think about positive things, and just like enjoy life.
Amen
And
to that.
that's what I like about this like community, like Christmas streams. We can just talk about trees and food and what we have. Well, I have some.
Yeah.
I just went to the grocery store and I have some food. I got some bison steaks and some very nice stuff that I'm going to cook tomorrow.
Well, then, Jared and I will be over tomorrow. All right, brother.
I'm going to start driving over right after we go off air.
Yeah, right.
You're very welcome every time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roy. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, bye-bye for now. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat. There is a special guest coming on right now, the one and only Jerome V is joining us. There he is. How are you doing, brother? How was your holiday?
Oh, my holiday has been wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm great. Couldn't be happier.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. You know, this has been an amazing year. I was just thinking how grateful I am. All of this difficulty and craziness here in California has helped me find my people like never before. It's been a great sorting. This oppression actually helps us find one another. And it's been an unexpected blessing.
That's a great point. Yeah, the pressure. And I think I said it, I don't know how long ago was it, Jer, where I said it's like the pressure, it's like we are a community of carbon, and when they put the pressure on, we don't become dust, we become diamonds. And that's exactly right, Jerome. I mean, we are finding each other. We are the vanguard. We are the folks who are making it happen, making the change happen in love, hope, and redemption. And there you are, a great representative. And you're standing there out in nature, these glorious trees behind you. What is this behind you?
These are coast redwoods.
Oh my gosh.
Those famous trees that can grow to be 300 feet tall, but these are just babies. These aren't even 100 feet tall.
Looks like Jared just dropped off, but so those are, he'll come back in a minute. So those are babies.
These are babies, yeah.
All right.
There we go.
So they, how old, if you say calling their babies, you say they're not even 100 feet tall. How old are they there, do you estimate?
I think they're only about 60 years old.
Wow.
They're only a couple feet in diameter, 3 feet in diameter. They're just pups.
They're just pups. That's wonderful, though. I mean, we really do. Not to say that any other group of people does not, but we really do love nature, and we feel a harmony and a kinship with it. And these magnificent redwood trees behind you are really a beautiful backdrop. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I had to refresh because I didn't see the trees. I didn't know that
for the
Jerome
forest
was on camera. I couldn't see the forest nor the trees. I could see neither the forest nor the trees. It was just a black box. So something on my end. We've been having this tree conversation and this food conversation this whole night. The food we might have to touch lightly on because it's getting harder and harder to sit here and not be eating something. But I heard this thing in the UK. I don't know if they're doing it in the States as well, but a few places in the UK are starting a trend where you have a Christmas tree that's yours at a Christmas tree farm. When you're done with it at Christmas time, you bring it, instead of throwing it out, you bring it back, they replant it.
Yeah.
And
replant it.
Take it again next year. So a lot less waste.
That's wonderful. So they really replant it. They must pot it then to bring it home. So its roots aren't too disturbed.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did know a family that would take their tree out it didn't have roots, planted in the yard, and over the years, maybe 3 survived. I have no idea how, but they planted them out in the yard, and most died, but some, I think it was 3 survived. But Jerome, what did you do? Go ahead, brother.
You can sprout plants like trees, but normally you can't let them dry out very long or they won't sprout. It's difficult. But
Right.
that's how they do grafting of trees. If the cambium is still alive, you can sometimes sprout it. Anyway, I'd be amazed that they can do it with a tree, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were about to ask, Jason.
Oh, just what did you do on your break? Did you decorate? Did you have celebrate? Did you eat something?
I celebrated with the new people I've found this year. I had great. 3 fantastic gatherings with people that I think I'm going to be able to bring to White Wellbeing. But I met them mostly through the medical freedom movement here, which is very, people are really feeling it with the pressure. So we've found each other, the people who want to retain like the health of our bodies and our right to control our destiny. So they're natural candidates. In fact, it's fascinating how in that medical freedom movement, almost all the heroes are Westmen. Right. When we look at the people who are really standing up, it just shows that we are the people of freedom. And speaking of which, I wanted to ask you, Jason, now I've got you. Have you read the Aurea Linda book?
Oh, wow. That sounds familiar. I'm not sure.
It's alleged to be a history of our people. It was found and it goes back more than 2,000 years. And it reminds me a lot of Prometheus Rising parts of it. So I just wondered, there's a tremendous overlap between this ancient history of our, what we would call the lore, the wisdom, what we knew, and what Prometheus and the Prometheans are about. So I'm just fascinated by the resonance between the two, and I always wondered if you had read that book.
I have not, but I do remember when there was a movement to, I guess, translate. Is it completely translated into English now?
Now it is. There's a new translation. There was one into Dutch that was then translated to English in the 1800s, but there's a new one that is just out now in paperback. It came out in hardback in June from the Aurea Linda Foundation, aurealinda.nl. And I highly recommend you investigate it anyway. Catherine Austin Fitz just did an interview with the translator, a guy named John Lott. And the people are out of Friesland, which is the Fries people. They're the free people. They've always been about freedom and truth and all the virtues of the West. So they kind of embody the Western biospirit. And to think they have this history that they managed to avoid having destroyed for more than 2,000 years. It used to be carved on the walls of their citadels. And then they had to transcribe it to paper as they were getting taken over by the Varesh, were infiltrating with their subversive corruption of the
Friesland is around modern day Netherlands, right? Jerome?
Yes, exactly.
So what is the connection there again?
Netherlands. They were a seafaring people.
What's the connection between Friesland and this manuscript?
Well, it is the history of those people. So that's where the manuscript was published. That's where, but that's where it was also found. That's where it was discovered. And that's where those people started from. But their history talks about how they went all around the world. They went all the way to India. They may have founded Minos, the Minoan civilization. They may have founded Athens, according to their history. They encountered these Egyptian priestly classes that seem like the Varesh in Prometheus Rising. And they subverted some of their goddesses were incorporated into Greek mythology, but were corrupted by those priests who were not wanting the real message to get through. Anyway, it's a fascinating history. It goes back, they believe, till when Atlan sank beneath the sea. So they're thinking that might be Atlantis or a sinking land body out there. But anyway, they're
interesting.
Go ahead.
Is it essentially the idea? I know you've mentioned the Aurea Linda book a little bit before. I've seen a little bit about it. Is it the idea allegedly that these other civilizations, these other societies, we all know have stories about their featured people who came from across the sea or from afar and had certain technologies, et cetera, et cetera? Or essentially the idea that it's the same account, but now we have something that might actually be from our people, from these people, and not other civilizations talking about us who were going out in these far-flung places in the world.
Yes. And here our people talk about all those other people. What our ancestors experienced meeting them, and how hard we fought to keep our virtue in the face of being surrounded by people who didn't have honor and who weren't about the truth, but were willing to use dirty tricks to gain power. People who don't want to read the book, Asha Logos did a 3-part video series on it in his Subverted History series. So that's a quick way to get a background of it. He's a brilliant storyteller with video. But the book itself is now in print again. So anyway,
we'll have to check that out. I think when we're talking about similarities of stories, we know that, at least we claim that comes from the biospirit of a people. And so the stories will be retold, even if we could somehow delete them all from memory. Anti-whites, I know, would love to white erase it all. If our people continued to exist, we would rewrite all of the stories because it's what is in and of us is where these things come from. So our behavior, our stories, etc., instinct. So what fascinating, brother. Fascinating. Well, do you have any final thoughts before we let you go here today?
No. Thank you very much for all that you do. I've got to tell you, it's lifted my life orders of magnitude to find this community. Wow. I have hope again. I have hope, but it's not unfounded hope. I see that. And this biospirit idea, Jason, it's so explanatory. It has so much power to explain so much that didn't make sense before. And if we can get that out there, I think our people will get it. They'll get it. It's our biospirit. This is why we need to express it, and we suffer when we can't. So thank you, Jason, and thank you, Jared, and thank you everyone in this community. You've taken my life to a new level and given me reason to get up and do everything I can every day.
It's amazing to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerome. That is wonderful. A wonderful testimonial. You are a magnificent member of this community. We thank you so very much for coming on today and for being a member of the community and practicing going free and taking this to your friends and family and strangers out there in the beautiful state of California, I'm assuming, with the redwoods.
Yes, California right now. And I'm glad to have something so beautiful to bring to them, because there are so many of our brothers and sisters out there who are starving for this. They're famished. They're hungry, and we have something good for them now. And and thank you for the new edition of Go Free. I'm really enjoying it. It's
wonderful.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, men.
All right, brother.
Thank you,
Promethean
Jerome.
Hails.
It was interesting to talk
Promethean
to you.
Hails.
Happy New Year to you and yours.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and to you too, man.
Bye-bye, brother. All right. That was the one and only, the inimitable Jerome V, and a magnificent gentleman. I do want to say, of course, because we know the ear is at the door, that that particular book and the claims made therein are contested by mainstream historians, and you should look everywhere to get a balanced view of world history. Of course, believe anything that CNN says in the end. But just wanted to make sure we put that in there. We do have some financial gifts before we tap out on this Christmas, New Year's, Yule special. We have 10 hopping dollars, it looks like, from Piers Taylor. Thank you so much, good brother. And he writes, thanks to all the No White Guilt family for your companionship and support throughout 2021. Here's to a wonderful and productive 2022. Amen to that. And thank you, brother, for the financial gift, those kind words. The wonderful warrior in the trenches, Slots, financially gifting $3. And he says, I will give $200 to a Christmas tree contest in our sphere next year. Well, that's a great idea, isn't it, Jared?
I agree. I was just following up with Jerome in the chat, but that sounds very generous and sweet. People can send in pictures of their Christmas tree. I agree, Jason, with what you said.
That would be
when
fun.
ForNull was on. I appreciate it when you could tell someone put a little extra effort into the Christmas tree, really make it beautiful.
Yeah, and his Mr. and Mrs. ForNull's tree might have been the winner, because it was gorgeous. It really was, really elegant. You can get like kitschy, and you can get just and that can have its own appeal. But ForNull's tree looked
Especially
like
with kids.
Yeah, as well, precisely. I used to, when I was a child, my mother would get so vexed because she had these ornaments that were just mirrors, and there were some in the shape of like a diamond, and what other shapes were there? Maybe some rectangles, and I don't think there were any circles or anything. But she would, and the purpose, of course, they worked well for the intended purpose. You hang them in the tree, and then they catch, of course, the light of the strands, and then they reflect them other directions. So it just adds this increased scintillation, I guess, which is the idea with Christmas trees, of course. And I would collect them from where she had put them on the tree, and when she, of course, was not looking.
You take them down. You take them off. You're saying?
I would take them off because I would reapply them. And what I liked to do is I would take them down, and then I would crawl under the tree and on my back, and then look up in the tree, and then find a space, find a void inside the tree, and then I would reach up from underneath, and I would hang them so that it would be like this hall of mirrors, and the light that entered off the strands of light from any direction, of course, lit it up like fire. It was magnificent. But at least I thought so. But of course,
that's cool. So you could lay under it and see all the different reflections.
Oh yeah, and I would, once I got it set up the way I wanted, I would then lie on my back under the tree, and then with my imagination, I would walk my way, you know, what I could see, of course, and then I would fill in some of the gaps with my imagination. I would walk my way up through this like hall of mirrors that would be near the bottom. And I'm not talking about hanging under the tree, up in the tree, but toward the bottom. And then I would proceed as far as really I could up through the tree, you know, where I could see with my imagination. And I thought that was a lot of fun back in the day. But she would get vexed, and that's just, did you move my ornaments again?
That's very interesting though about it, imagination and what, you know, comes naturally to children, and we should all try to hold on to. But that you pictured almost traveling up through that.
Yes,
it almost sounds like a scene from that opening of Prometheus Rising with the void and space and everything forming. The prologue. It's I could see how you had that writer's mind showing itself even at that young age. That's very, very cool. I appreciate that. As for kids and decorating trees, when I was a little kid, it was the more the better. I wanted our tree to be the busiest in the family.
Right. So you by busiest you mean the most
tinsel, decoration, colors, lights. Yeah. The more that you would see of decorations and not too many of the pine needles, you know, you'd want to use all the
is there a tree?
You'd want to use all the real estate of the tree. The more the better. Then of course, when you get a little older, your taste changes. It gets a little more elegant.
True. Yeah. As a child, it's do you have a Christmas tree with your ornaments, and then as you get a little older,
right.
And they sell. I'm sure everybody is aware of these ornaments that are magnificently elegant, but are also extremely expensive.
The glass. I actually just caught a quick thing from Jilly in the chat, and I'm going to partner with her here. So she says, imagine a hall of lindolens, the symbol.
The Eindolin, yes.
The Eindolin. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Eindolin. It's capital I. Yeah. I always mix that up in my head. From your book that we were just talking about, what if you made, because it's kind of a quartz shape, a many-sided trapezoid shape, what if you actually made ornaments of that shape?
Well, that could be something, you know, for the future. We make available at nowhiteguiltcollectibles.com, especially if we could make them out of glass. But that would be something. Tetragonal trapezohedron ornaments, the Eindolin up in the Christmas tree. But I mean, it would be great to have like the year on there, and that would be marvelous. Well, we'll think about that. We have an expert, a genius, a glass-smith. So
yes, we do.
We do indeed. So who knows? Maybe. But that was fun back in the day. And of course, the lead tinsel that everybody would run through their mouth. Everybody did, right? Mr. Bloom
explains a few things.
Mr. Bloom, financially gifting, folks. Get your August emojis out. $25. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Mr. Bloom right here. Hello, all. I hope you're doing well and had a great Christmas. So wonderful to catch you guys live again. I want to say a huge congratulations to my good friend Richard Wagner, who recently informed me of his engagement to a woman that Western kind can be proud of. So glad that he has strived through his recent struggles. Well, that is great news, because the last I heard of our champion, Richard Wagner, was not in the happiest of places, and we prayed for him and we sent him positive Promethean energy. And what a great story that is. It absolutely apropos for this show, for this tab. So let's get a round of applause for that. Richard Wagner, folks, and he's made marvelous music for White Wellbeing and was able to finally reach his sister, if you all remember, when she could not have been reached before. She was actually being pushed away. And so what a wonderful thing. That is great news. We wish him the absolute very best.
Nice.
And
this is the new Richard Wagner.
Yes.
Just to clarify.
Not
he's also a musician.
I guess I should say our Richard Wagner, a much younger and alive man. Thanks so much, Mr. Bloom, for letting us know about that. Many, many beautiful Promethean children to the lovely couple. And we have another from Mr. Bloom, $10 financial gift. Thank you so much, good brother. So another round of raucous emojis for Bloom, who's rocking it. He writes, Jason, I just want to let you know before the new year that you are one of my biggest influencers in bettering myself as a Westman. I pray that 2022 will be a better year for all Western kind, and I look forward to what it has in store for all of us. God bless you. Well, God bless you, Mr. Bloom, and thank you so much for that wonderful testimonial. You are a real champion, and we'll never forget all the wonderful things you've done in service for White Wellbeing. Thank you. And not least of all is improving yourself, treating yourself for those MPs. And we just had OG Snoop on this post-Christmas Yule bash, writing in with $10. Thanks, brother. And he writes, usually I have a question to challenge the teachings of going free or something difficult for Jason to answer. But it seems all I have to say today is Merry Christmas and something else, Yule. All right. Well, thanks, OG, original gangster Snoop. And thank you very much. And we also have over here our good friend Jonas. He says in Czechia, and this is in the question widget, the traditional Christmas dinner is a fried carp with a potato salad. You also use the head to make fish soup and or make a pea soup instead. I wouldn't want to, well, I guess if it's, you wouldn't see the head, so it's not like some other types of cuisine where they bring the head out to you. I would definitely not want to see that. But I will check the Cash App. Okay, we didn't miss anybody there. So very good, Mr. George.
Elaine wrote in the chat that she might work on some tap Christmas ornaments. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Yes. But she's also one of someone who's very crafty.
Without question.
Yes.
Without question. She sent me a mother load of wonderful Christmas decorations, and I shared just a fraction. There were so many. She does such a wonderful job, and I'll be sharing more of that moving forward, definitely. So what a wonderful tap we've had today, brother. Everybody has been marvelous. What are your final thoughts for today?
It's always fun. Yes, I agree to do these multi-guest streams. And we're 2 days, well, we're really 1 day away from New Year's Eve. So I just wish everyone a happy New Year. And I look forward to the continual flowering of everything that's been going on. And my love to all of you. It's been wonderful. And I have all of you in my thoughts, send you all my love. And I look forward to when we can meet again in the new year. This will be the final tap of 2021.
We keep chugging on and on. There's nothing going to stop us in service to White Wellbeing. And it's being perpetuated to the children in love, which means it will continue. And it's so I'm so grateful to be able to serve White Wellbeing with my dear friend and brother, the great Mr. George here. We found each other kneeling side by side to the Spirit of the West. So in that service and in that love, it will never end. And with all of you, it's remarkable, wonderful folks. We embrace everyone of every immutable characteristic to participate in service to White Wellbeing. And so there are all of these ugly ideas that the anti-whites try to saddle us with. They simply don't apply here. We are a new breed, a new thing that has come to the surface, because we are those who are going to decide what our heroism, what our glory looks like in the recapture of our destiny. We're going to decide that the victimization of our children has come to its end. I want to thank the great ForNull, Nate, Roy, and Brant moderating today. I know they all did a great job in the live chat. I want to thank everybody who came on and participated as guests in this marvelous stream, even though Carlisle Cockatoo did not give me credit for being the one who told her to take her ornaments to get them cleaned so that she could save the ornaments made by her deceased father and family. A friend helped her, just some friend. But that was everybody. Of course, I'm teasing. It was a wonderful time with every single one of you. And as Mr. George just said, it's been a marvelous year. I wish everybody a happy new year. Please be safe out there. Put the love of our people in the forefront of your mind and everything you're doing. And you're not going to end up doing things like drinking yourself into oblivion, or smoking yourself into oblivion, or getting into an environment where you'll end up getting maimed or killed by some drunk driver, or letting your children get into some ugly kind of a space because anti-whiteism has said it's the right thing to do or the moral thing to do. You can be the moral rock in your family. We expect you to be so. And we're looking forward. We have a lot of wonderful things coming to the fore in 2022, not the least of which is the audio edition, the audiobook edition of Prometheus Rising, which we hope will reach we expect will reach a great many people. But Happy New Year to every one of you. I love you all. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in 2022 next time.